Doc Deathmatch.
So here we are in beautiful sunny Wales in our huge, great big caravan.
Yeah, I'll go with that way. See you later.
Well, it's not supposed to be on until 3, and they're 20 minutes behind. It gets until 20 past 3 to even get in there. The interview's for like an hour, I think, so... New comics, new Star Trek game, more new comics, new clothing, new backpatch, and a new...
Yes, no, I'm sure they did, yeah. That was Clive Doig, he was instrumental in me getting the job of Doctor Who. My agent had phoned up John Nathan Turner and said, I think you should see Sylvester McCoy for Doctor Who. And he said, who? He said, yes. And then the next phone call happened to be Clive Doig, BBC producer. He phoned out and he said, I think you should see Sylvester McCoy. And that was when the light went on in John's mind. Who is this guy? Because I didn't really know who it was. And then, as luck also had it, I was at the National. Adrian Mitchell, a great poet and playwright, had written a musical play, The Pied Piper, for me to play in The Pied Piper at the National. And John Nathan Turner came along to see it, and afterwards said, I've seen my new Doctor. But then I had to go through lots of other loops to get the job. But it was Clive that, made him interested. And luck. It's always luck in our business.
Did you sustain any lasting psychological damage from being a flower in compost corner in Tiswas? But just tell us about Tiswas.
Tiswas was terrifying. I remember the very first time I did it. I used to live and stuff, doing live stuff. It was live. But I've never seen anything. I've never seen Tiswas because it wasn't shown in London. It was shown over the rest of the country until the very last year of Tiswas, then it came to London. And so I did this show. They paid me quite a lot of money to do it, and I did all my bits and pieces. But by the end of it, my back had seized up, and like at the top triangle, with fear, because it was chaos, complete and utter chaos. But then I thought, I'll never do that again. And then they asked me to get back again and gave me more money, and I thought, oh, all right. And then I started to love it. And then eventually, by the end of it, if it wasn't chaos, I was very disappointed. It was like being a car coming down and crashing into a wall. And then we got very exciting. It was like riding a big dipper. It was just amazing to do. It was just a and I was wearing my straw hat the way, the doctor wears his straw, my doctor wears his straw hat. That's how I wore it that day. And John Nathan Turner said to me, ooh, I like that hat. That hat should be in Doctor Who. And I said, okay, if the hat's in Doctor Who, so am I. And that's how I got the job. No. So anyway, we start with the hat. They wanted to keep the hat, and then when we got there, I said I wanted to have a baggy jacket, kind of, so with big pockets, because I knew I wanted to put my script in the pockets and various other paraphernalia. So that's that, and then, but the pullover, the question mark pullover, well, that wasn't my idea. That was John Nathan Turner's idea, and I think it was his granny who used to knit them, and so that's why we had to have it, really, just for his granny's sake. And the umbrella came because Colin Baker, who was the doctor before me, as you well know, didn't turn up for the regeneration. So anyway, I had to play Colin Baker, so they stuck me in his costume. They lost me for 3 days, but when they found me, they know, they found me, and then they said, "Oh, here's an umbrella," because he had one in the previous episodes. And I thought, oh, I'd like to have an umbrella, but this was a golf umbrella. It was too big, too cumbersome. And I thought, I kind of had that Chaplin-esque vision of the shadow of my shape and with an umbrella. So I said, can I have one? And then I said, can I have a question mark on it? So they made it. I asked them to make it a question mark. I was hoping to get rid of the question mark pullover, which I know are quite popular now, but then it was very hot, and I thought it was overstated. You know, I thought it was much more subtle to have an umbrella with a question mark. Because, you know, it could be an umbrella. It was. So why all these question marks? Anyway, so that's how that happened. And then they gave me, the designer gave me the shoes, and the designer gave me, you know, the trousers, and that's how it happened. Yes, thank you. Well, there's a green fairy over here. Hello.
Hi. Other than yourself, who was your favourite Doctor?
Ah. Now that's a very dangerous one. I'm going to pick someone who's no longer with us. Well, no, I mean, because the thing is, all the other Doctors are taller than me. The living ones. They're all giants. I didn't realise I did 5 of each Doctor's reboot. And, you know, I don't know if you've seen it, but if you have, well, I was watching it, and I was so depressed afterwards. I was so small. I thought I should have been playing a dwarf in The Hobbit, not a wizard. Because Colin is a giant, and Peter is, you know, he's a tall bloke too. I hadn't realised. And most of the stuff I'd seen myself in, I've been working with people with the same height as me. Sophie's a bit smaller than me, and, you know, various people I worked with, Bonnie and all that. They're all about small and make me look tall, but these, you know, so I was very depressed. So, my favourite Doctor, Patrick Troughton. I have to say Patrick Troughton because he was the very first one I watched. Way back, and although I must say the new ones, I loved Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. I thought he brought it back, and I liked the Mancunian accent. I thought it was great, taking it away from, you know, kind of English middle class. So that was nice. Then, of course, David came along, and well, he's absolutely brilliant. But the only problem was disappointing because he didn't do it with a Scottish accent. I thought he would do it with a Scottish accent. I really did after. I thought this was the beginning of that. I remember I was phoned up from Glasgow. Someone from the newspaper said, "Hello there, Sylvester. Have you heard David Tennant? He's not going to do it in a Scottish accent." We're all very upset. I said, "Oh, terribly sorry. I don't know what to say. What do you think?" And I thought, "What do I think?" And then I suddenly had this bright idea. I said, "I know what I think." Because David Tennant can do a Scottish accent and drop a hat. He doesn't, you know, that's easy for him. So he decided to do something a bit more difficult because he wants to, you know, to be challenged. And also I said, you know, people most like, well, who do they think of when they think of Scottish actors? It's Sean Connery. And, you know, and what about Sean Connery's accent? I mean, he wants to prove that Scottish actors, David wants to prove that Scottish actors can do accents. Because Sean Connery, did you see The Highlander? Now, not only, I mean, his accent, but the other guy, The Highlander, he had a French accent. I'm a Highlander. I didn't know I was speaking with the wrong accent all these years. But anyway, so, I am the Highlander. And then Sean Connery said, "Oh yes, and I am a Egyptian." Then he cut to another film, and he's Red Blood or Red Submarine film. And then he said, "Oh yes, I am a Russian." And every film, I was like painting with a fine, I'm not finished yet. A fine Japanese brush. It's you know, it's internal, and when you get it right, it's almost orgasmic. It's great. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. Here's a pretty young lady. Hello. And what's your name?
Hello, my name is Sophie.
That's a lovely name. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my time is ended. This is the end, as that man said up there. And I wish now, no, shush. Because you are going to be delighted and entertained by the glorious, the wonderful Miss Sophie Aldray!
And ladies and gentlemen, you have been entertained and delighted by the most marvellous Mr. McCoy! Everything invented by the wonderful and exceptional
Very nice little stories about him. The first is, I don't know, does any of you know the story of the Harley Davidson? Right, I'll tell you. He was having one of those midlife millionaire things, and he thought he'd buy himself a Harley Davidson. So he went out and he bought a 10 grand Harley. He drove it up and down the drive a few times and thought, hey, easy rider. He took it for a little ride around the lanes and fell off on his head. He got his next door neighbour to help him push it back to his house, and on the way back he said to his next door neighbour, I don't think I'm very good at riding a motorbike. Would you like to have it? And he gave the 10 grand Harley to his next door neighbour. Pretty cool, though. But the most cool thing I think he did, and only very few people know about this, because it was a secret throughout his lifetime. In the little village, as you know, he didn't believe in God in any way, shape or form. In the village church needed new church bells. And that's a lot of money to cast new church bells. And they started up a fund, and Terry said, I'll pay. And anonymously, he paid for the new church bells. And they never knew that he'd done it. Which is a very big heart for a man who's an atheist, isn't it? So, cool doing it. Wasn't he cool? So, as you may notice, I'm standing here all on my own. Oh yes! Once I had a private army that used to march me out. Do you remember that? Yes! Once I had a lovely wife who used to be at my side. The lovely wife's gone down the pub with a private army. Do you want them to fight each other? The last one standing. Brutal swords.
That goose again. Just wandering around. Misty mountain tops in the distance.
Leaving Mordor.
Too far away. may have pooped a little. It's yeah, probably best not to work. Especially this fatty walking all over the place.
Pass it here. Oh my days.